Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. Welcome to the dump stream. We're getting a cryptocurrency dump stream as Bitcoin starts heading down to lower prices here, losing some levels that we were trying to hold on to here. And yeah, we're gonna talk about how far down I think Bitcoin could go down here. We'll take a look at some other cryptocurrencies and some requests that you guys have for your cryptocurrencies here. I can also do stock market. The stock market is trading as well. The Nasdaq ain't doing so great either, so it's not just crypto. But yeah, we'll take a look at this one asset at a time here, starting with our favorite one to talk about here, and that's Bitcoin. And yeah, let me just do a quick sound check. All right, good, I can hear myself. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin currently trading $113,800, down $2,500 a day, down 2%. Some of the old coins are doing worse than that right now. I updated my Fibonacci here, measuring it from 124,500 down to the lows back here in June, when we saw Bitcoin as low as like 98,225 on June 22nd. And it gives us these important Fibonacci levels to look out for. Believe it or not, the 618 $114,500 level was a very important level for us to hold and maintain, and we are losing that level today. If we continue on this downward path to lower prices here, then we do have some support below us. We do have the 50-day moving average, which I know some traders out there, they know how to put in the 50-day moving average on their chart. So that is an area that we're looking out for here. At $110,900 Bitcoin is an area for us to be on the lookout for Bitcoin. Okay, if you're a moving average guy, but if you're a Fibonacci guy, you're also looking at this 0.5 retracement at $111,400 Bitcoin, which is also near the previous all-time high at 112K Bitcoin, when we saw Bitcoin get to 112K for the first time on May 22nd here. Okay, and then we've seen Bitcoin actually come down and retest that 112K level here, that back on August 2nd, that Saturday, first weekend of August. We might be coming back down to revisit that level one more time here. There's really nothing here at 113K that's supposed to hold us here. At least not Fibonacci wise, and I don't have any moving averages giving us the support at that area as well. I mean, I guess I could go into smaller time frames to see if there's something there, but it's better to be on the higher time frames here, especially when you want to get the bigger picture and the most likely candidate for where price might go next. And I just think if we're going to continue this little dump here on Bitcoin, then we are probably going to see us come down to that 50-day moving average right near 111K, and also 111,800 was what? I'm sorry, no, 111,900 was near that we got down to on Sunday, and also 112K was the previous all-time high. So I think we're probably making our way down to those areas right here just to get some support. So you guys can start lining up your buy orders, your buy limit orders, and to see if you can get filled in at Bitcoin at 112K here, because it looks like we're on our way down there today. Maybe going there later on this week. Okay. I see we got some comments here in the YouTube chat. We got Jay Cherie saying, "Why are the markets crashing?" And then you then asked, "Is there any bad news triggering or something?" And then I see John 316 is also in chat. I responded back to him. I appreciate you hitting the like button, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button so we can get some more people to join this this cryptocurrency dump stream, so they can find out where the prices might go next, so we can get some good entries here on our cryptocurrency assets. But yeah, I can answer that question for you, Jerry. The markets are crashing today. Mainly because we actually we got bad news last Thursday. Okay, we got a bad PPI report that actually sent us down. If you look at, Thursday, Thursday was when last Thursday was when Bitcoin got up to $124,000. And then we had that bad PPI report that actually sent us down 4% in one day. And then we had a little bit of follow through on Friday. Over the weekend, Wall Street wasn't around, so there wasn't any big guys to dump on us on Saturday and Sunday here. But then Monday, we came in with some more follow through yesterday with Wall Street dumping on us again. And then, of course, here we are on Tuesday with Wall Street continuing to dump on us, all right? And they got more money than me and you combined here. So they can actually move the markets when Wall Street decides to play ball here, okay? So that's what we had going on here. Also, if I turn on the indicators here, I'm going to turn on the oscillators. And we're going to look at the Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B did say that Friday was a good day to sell Bitcoin. Okay, last Friday, August 15th, you got that red dot. Now, the good bit of news I can give you is that after a red dot comes a green dot. But we're going to have to probably wait until we see that green dot show up here before we can become bullish again on Bitcoin, at least for the next few days. In the next few days, usually with the red dot, you get a few bad days of price action going to the downside. And that happened on Friday. So last Friday was your warning. This was your warning last Friday to sell Bitcoin and sell crypto because it was coming. Money was leaving out of Bitcoin and leaving out of crypto. It had a pause on the weekend because Wall Street wasn't around, but now Wall Street's back in business again on Monday and Tuesday, and you're getting that dump that we were supposed to get on Friday. Well, we kind of got a little bit of it on Thursday and Friday, but it's continuing right now. Last time we had a green dot, though, was back here on August 7th, all right? Saying that was a good time to buy some Bitcoin and crypto here. Okay, so I pay attention to these green and red dots here on Market Cipher B. It's like a little cheat sheet, it gives me ideas like, should I be bullish or bearish for the week? Right now, I'm bearish. I became bearish last Friday when I saw that red dot print out. Some people might have seen me on the Discord channel getting all bearish and throwing shorts and stuff like that over the weekend. And yeah, I mean, some of those shorts would still be playing out. I have shorted some cryptocurrencies here like Aerodrome and Chainlink, and I made some money on those shorts, okay? And I think until you get a green buy dot showing up here, you can still continue shorting the market. Maybe put a looser stop loss because they are trying to come for the shorts every now and then. They'll pump the price up every now and then to get people stopped out on their shorts. So maybe a looser stop loss, but you can stay in that stop. Stay in that short trade until you get that green buy dot showing up on Market Cipher B. And yeah, we still haven't had that happen here on the daily time frame. The other bit of bad news that I got, and I'm sorry for the bad news, guys, here, but if we go into the weekly time frame here, okay, we're now looking at Bitcoin on the weekly chart. I saw this on Market Cipher B. I saw the first red dot get printed on Market Cipher B for the week of August. Here, we haven't had a red dot like this since December, around Christmas time of last year, 2024. And granted, we did have a good month after where Bitcoin shot up to like $109,000 and a new all-time high when President Donald Trump got inaugurated. But then we all know what happened on February, March, and April as money started leaving Bitcoin. Okay, is that going to happen the next few weeks and months here with this red dot that is now showing up on the weekly time frame? This is getting me a little bit concerned about the price of Bitcoin. Also, I spoke about this in Discord, especially on Porky Founders Discord. If you guys follow that channel there. But if you think about it, Bitcoin's only $4,000 higher than when Donald Trump got inaugurated in January. And this is supposed to be the most bullish year for crypto. And we've only gone up $4,000 in the last 7 months for Bitcoin. I think that if you just think about that, that kind of puts things in perspective about how lousy of a year this has been for Bitcoin and crypto. So if you think it's a lousy year, you're not wrong, because Bitcoin's only like $4,000 higher than what it was in January. and we're threatening to go back to the prices that we were at in January. So it's almost as if like this year was a big washout. Okay, but yeah, that red dot, the bit of good news and hopium that I can give you guys for Bitcoin and crypto here is that we still got 5 days left in this week. So if Bitcoin can push the prices back up to, you know, $124,000, and we're threatening to go to new all-time highs here, which could be a long shot. But if we start going up in price on Bitcoin, then this red dot on Market Cipher B could start to disappear. It only started showing up, I think, today and yesterday with all the selling action that we've been getting. Okay, but I am concerned to see this. Okay. Last time we had a green dot was here in April, and we know that was a good time to buy Bitcoin, was in first week, second week of April. But now we're getting this red dot here on Market Cipher B, which is getting me concerned, okay, about Bitcoin. And yeah, I also see that there could be possible bearish divergence on the weekly time frame here, right? We are creating lower highs here on the RSI, while we are making higher highs on price. Do I really need to draw that out? You guys know that we have made higher highs on price on Bitcoin. But this is bearish divergence. This could mean that the cycle is coming to an end here, or at least the highs for the year have already been put in. So I hate to be, bearish and bad on you guys here, but this is what the charts are showing, and it's not that good, to be honest. Okay. So I'm just shooting it straight with you guys. I mean, I might lose some people here, but at least I'm being honest with you guys. Okay. But yeah, maybe we can get a bounce off this 112k level here, in that 111.4k area where the 0.5 retracement is at, and then we can get sent up to higher prices, and we can get rid of that, that red dot here on Market Cipher B on the weekly chart. And maybe this is all a bad dream and we go back up to all-time highs again later on this week. I don't know. But this is not looking good the way things are going right now. I get it. Ricky Ricardo says, why hasn't the founder of Bitcoin come out and met with President Trump yet? He'll never come out, if it's even a he. We just know him as Satoshi Nakamoto. Could be a guy, could be a girl, could be an institution, could be the CIA. We really don't know who is Satoshi Nakamoto. And Satoshi Nakamoto is doing this for the benefit of everybody in Bitcoin. Because if Satoshi Nakamoto revealed his identity, he's going to become a target. I think he owns like 1 million Bitcoin. And I don't know, if I do the calculator here real quick, 1 million Bitcoin at $113,000, okay, that puts him at, he has $113 billion right now. $113 billion makes him a target. And there are stories out there in the news of people with a lot of crypto, a lot of Bitcoin, have been robbed. They have people have gone up to their houses and threatened them at gunpoint to give them the crypto, or they'll kill them. So it's risky business to reveal your identity, especially if you have a lot of crypto. And in this case, Satoshi Nakamoto, he does have a lot of Bitcoin, and he refuses to sell it because he's trying to keep the ecosystem stable as Bitcoin, starts to become more and more stabilized over the years. I guess he could reveal his identity now, but then he makes himself a target, and then there's probably some governments and some institutions that probably want to come after him. This probably it's almost like he's at the same level as, I hate to say it, like almost the same level as like the president of the United States. Like, there are people that have lost their businesses and lost their jobs because cryptocurrencies have taken over and taken the business away from them, especially with the banks. And there might be somebody who wants to, not get Satoshi's money, but take his life away because of what Satoshi did with revolutionizing the financial system here. So who knows? Who knows? I think it's safer for him not to reveal his identity, to be honest. If it even is a guy, it could be a girl. And that's the best way to leave it. Is like, we really don't know whether it's a guy, girl, an institution, a company that did it. We really don't know. Hey, King Louie, thank you for saying that I had the good TA here. Just trying my best to help you guys out. All right, I think Bitcoin could come down to 112K, which is really not too far from where we are right now. Okay, but we do have some levels here on the Fibonacci to be watching out for. And right now, the closest ones below us is like 111 to 112K. Maybe that's where we actually get some bids here coming in for Bitcoin. Let's see. Ken Coulter says 10% Bitcoin added to the bonds this week. That's interesting. I don't know much about that. If you could elaborate on that. You said you want me to read your comments. I just read them right now. And King Lou was asking, is that Market Cipher B? Yeah, it is Market Cipher B. Ken thinks I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, he's still on the live stream talking to me. So okay, I guess, you know, he just likes to say things here. Appreciate the engagement on the channel. Thank you for letting me know that you think I don't know what I'm talking about. I am Corey says, where do you think the bottom would be? Right now we're just looking to see if Bitcoin's gonna try to get a bounce off 112K. It would be nice if Bitcoin would just stop going down from where it is right now, but there's no guarantee that the pain is over yet. I am paying attention, you know, to the daily time frame here, and looking for a green dot to show up here on Market Cipher B. If a green dot shows up on the daily time frame, that should be a good day to start buying some Bitcoin and crypto. We haven't had that yet. Last time we had a green dot on the daily time frame was August 7th here. Okay, so we're just waiting. We're just waiting, and this could be just another higher low. Hopefully, maybe this is the lowest that we go. It'd be nice if we don't even go down to 112K, because then we can count that as a higher low, believe it or not, and then go to higher prices from here. Okay, so maybe this is the worst day of the week right now, as of now. Okay, but I was starting to get a little bit worried because, you know, we did have a nice uptrend that we were maintaining here, and we lost that uptrend for Bitcoin. I'm gonna get rid of this now because it's pretty obvious that that trend is no longer in play. Okay, so that was like a kind of like a warning sign that we got yesterday. And let's look at money flow indicator here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to throw that in, because this could show us, you know, what money's doing here, whether it's going in or out of Bitcoin. And we'll look at it on the daily time frame and also the a weekly time frame as well. So I got all these indicators here. Hopefully you're able to see this, guys, here. But yeah, money flow, as you can see, was good back here in May, right? And we know that was money going in. Bitcoin, I think, was up at 112K for the first time around that time, right? Yeah, 112K Bitcoin in May. Then it came down a little bit in the month of June. We also had a little bit of red here towards the end of June here. And that was after the United States got done bombing Iran, okay, for the first time ever. And then money started going back into cryptocurrency in July, as you can see with the money flow indicator. Let me see if I can zoom in here so you can kind of see. So money came down into June. Then we started getting money in July. And now look what we've been flirting with. Like around here towards the beginning of August, we have money actually leaving Bitcoin right now. Okay, then we came back in here again on the second week of August. But now the money is starting to leave here. So it's kind of like flatlining. Money's not really going into Bitcoin, and sometimes it's actually going out of Bitcoin right now. All right, money flow indicator is good to have to give you an idea of like what's going on with the markets here. You can see that, you know, back earlier in this year, you know, money was definitely leaving Bitcoin in February, March, and April, and that's why I'm worried about that red sell dot on Market Cipher B, because that red sell dot could be indicating that we might see some of this going on in Bitcoin going into the next few weeks and few months here. Look, we're already starting to get a little bit of red here on the third week of August here. And if we keep seeing more red like we did back in March and April, I mean, come on, those were not fun times to be in crypto. If you guys remember earlier this year, it was not fun to be in crypto back in March and April. Unless you already had cash and you were ready to buy the lows and buy the cheap crypto that you could find out there. Okay, so this is a little bit disheartening. I mean, how can you even say this is a bullish year, the best year for crypto, when you got money leaving Bitcoin right now? Okay, and the green is not that much green, not as much as we saw back here in November and December. Do you guys remember what November and December of 2024 felt like? You know, a lot of enthusiasm and excitement when Donald Trump got elected again. Look at all that money that came into Bitcoin after that. It's looking like 2024 was better than 2025, right? At least that's what it looks like on the charts. And you look at the money flow indicator here. Okay, even back here in March of 2024, we had a lot of enthusiasm in crypto because that was right after the Bitcoin ETF came into play. You don't see that high green like you did in 2024 as you would see here in 2025. This is like why I'm thinking like this year is kind of whack. It's lame. It's very lame and whack. I'll agree with you guys. If you guys want to call it a lame bull market, if you're even calling it a bull market, I would agree. Like, things are just whack, you know? Like, back here in 2021, we had money going into Bitcoin in January 2021 and also February 2021. And then, yeah, there was like a big correction in May and June of 2021. But then we had money coming in, but then it was kind of weak. And then we had money leaving in September. So maybe this is what we're getting. Because, like, you know, if you guys are big believers in the 4-year cycle, you know, we did have money leaving Bitcoin in September and almost the beginning of October of 2021. And then money came in one last time towards October, the end of October and November of 2021. And then we had the sell-off going into December and January of 2022. And we all know how bad 2022 was with all that all that money leaving Bitcoin, right? So this is a good indicator to take a look at, guys. Money flow indicator. And we're just playing around and skirting around with fire here. I just don't know if we're going to get that kind of push that we need to see higher prices on Bitcoin the way things are going right now. And this is the money flow indicator. If you guys are interested in the money flow indicator, I use Money Flow Intensity by Joe Cool for you TradingView guys that are using TradingView indicators here. I'm going to get rid of this indicator for now. I can always pull up later if I want to. I'll put the Market Cipher B back on. MACD on. Yeah, that's good for now. But yeah, guys, that's what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. Not looking good. We could go down to 112k and probably get some support and a bounce off that area. Maybe 111k. All right, let's see what we're saying here in the live chat here. Guys, I'm doing a live stream on YouTube and TikTok. So bear with me. I try to get to all your comments here as best as I can. But I see we got a request here for Cardano. Okay, we'll take a look at Cardano. And let me see. Am I missing anything else? Bitcoin Cash. All right, we'll look at Bitcoin Cash first because that actually came in first before Cardano. I got you. Chris, good to see you again, Chris. And let's see. What else do we got here? Kami thinks a bottom is coming in tomorrow. I wonder why you think that's the case. Is it because the Federal Reserve FOMC meeting minutes are coming out? And then Kami says all the money was invested in the Trump coin and rug pull. People lost so much money. Probably, maybe. And Ponky says alt season was fantastic. Are you being kind of sarcastic? Because we didn't really have an alt season. I mean, we had an alt season recovery. We had an alt recovery, trying to just get back to where we were earlier this year. But has Ethereum made new all-time highs? That's one of the biggest altcoins out there, and Ethereum hasn't made new all-time highs. And believe it or not, XRP has been at higher prices than what it was this year on certain exchanges back in 2018, 2017. So even XRP didn't make new all-time highs, and yet people trying to say alt season? No, I don't think so. Not right now. We're having like an alt recovery, but things are not looking good with Bitcoin coming down to 113,600. Let's look at an altcoin that might have some promise here, and that's Cardano. And we'll try to see if Cardano made any new all-time highs here compared to what it did in previous cycles. Right now we see Cardano trading at 86 cents. I have some previous chart work here. I got the Fibonacci for ya. and I measured this from like 93 cents, where we saw Cardano at 93 cents back on July 21st, and then took that fib all the way down to 53 cents is where we saw Cardano go down to on June 23rd, and it looks like we're heading towards the 786 retracement at 85 cents. If that doesn't hold, then we might see Cardano come down to 80 cents here. And 80 cents is also where the 21 EMA, the exponential moving average, is sitting at, that white line. I think that might be a good area for you to scoop some cheaper Cardano if Bitcoin's going to come down to lower prices here. But if Cardano does catch the bids here, the next level for it to try to hit on the upside is this $1.04 level here. That's the 1272 fib extension level. And then the 1618 at $1.18 is levels for us to look for on the upside for Cardano. But let's see. Cardano has been at higher prices though. Like back here in 2024, we've seen Cardano at like $1.32. That was like December of 2024. And has Cardano been higher than that? Yeah, it has. Back here in 2021, we've seen Cardano as high as like $2.96 in September 2021. So Cardano has even made new all-time highs compared to what it was doing back in 2021. So very tough to call this an old season if we're not even able to do what we did 4 years ago on these assets here. All right. All right. Yeah, I gotta talk about Bitcoin Cash. I'm sorry. I got into Bitcoin. I'm sorry. I got into Cardano first when I said I was gonna do Bitcoin Cash. Let's get into Bitcoin Cash. Sorry about that. But yeah, Cardano not really doing what it needs to be doing compared to what it has done in 2021. All right, we're looking at Bitcoin Cash now. Bitcoin Cash trading at $554, down 2.63% today. Bitcoin Cash, I know Bitcoin Cash has also been at higher prices, especially back in like 2017 when it first came out. But I like what I'm seeing with Bitcoin Cash. Using like basically the 21 EMA as support. However, we just lost that 21 EMA, so I don't know. Could this be the beginning of something worse here for Bitcoin Cash? Right? We have measured, Bitcoin Cash has hit the measured moves here on the Fibonacci extension. We came up to that 1618 at $632. We did that back here on August 13th. Okay. So we already hit the fib extension levels here for Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Cash, if it decides to crash to lower prices here, then we could see us try to revisit the $492 level here for Bitcoin Cash. That's also confluent with this 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is sitting at 487. That is your downside target, is like 490, 492 for Bitcoin Cash. Because like by the time the price comes down, because it's not going to just drop, to a straight line unless something really bad happens for Bitcoin Cash. But as this price starts to move back down, this moving average is going to come up, and I think somewhere around like 490 and 520 could be a good buy zone area where you got confluence with the 50-day moving average and also the Fibonacci here. But I did draw this Fibonacci because we did top out here on Bitcoin Cash. We got as high as about $492 here back in June, and I took this Fibonacci all the way down to the 267 level, which I think is where Bitcoin Cash was hanging out at back here in April. And that's where I got these numbers here for the Fibonacci, if you're curious about how I drew that Fibonacci out. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw on the VRVP, see what the VRVP has to say about all this information with Bitcoin Cash. VRVP is showing that there is high volume node here at 577. We lost that, and there's a gap in between. There's a gap below us between these high volume nodes here, and you got your high volume node at like 500 and 506. So we could lose another 10% before Bitcoin Cash actually starts catching some bids here. Okay, so be on the lookout for Bitcoin Cash going to lower prices if it does decide to do that. Now, just out of curiosity, just to have an idea, it's like, whether we're getting a good altcoin season here. We have seen Bitcoin Cash in December 2024 at $640. We've also seen Bitcoin Cash back in April of 2024 at $715. But then look at this. Back here in 2021, we've seen Bitcoin Cash at like $1,200, $1,300. And then even worse than that, or better, I guess, we have seen Bitcoin Cash as high as, oh my god, $3,700 in December of 2017. So basically what I'm saying is over time we have been making lower highs. We're not making new all-time highs on Bitcoin Cash. The same thing applies to some of these other cryptocurrencies like Cardano. I know you guys get excited about altcoin season, but the problem that I'm seeing is that we have so many damn altcoins out here, and there's only so much money to go around that the supply, the liquidity gets split and it gets drained out to all these other altcoins that are out there. And unless these coins are able to prove that they have good tokenomics and they have good use cases here, then we're not going to be able to make new all-time highs like we did when these coins first came out. Okay, that's what I'm starting to see here with altcoin season, and as the years go by here in cryptocurrency, we're just not able to get the same kind of excitement and enthusiasm like we did when these coins first came out. Kitty Kush says, hopefully it ends off not being lame. Yep, hopefully we don't have a lame Bitcoin bullish year. We're gonna get one this year. SCZ is saying, yo Damien, what about World Liberty Finance? Should I get a bag? I see so many people talking about it. Booyah agrees that there's too many coins. And let's see, Kami says people are talking about good time to sell. Yeah, I mean, I showed you the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. Market Cypher B had a red sell dot came out this week. It could change. We still got 5 more days left in this week. If Bitcoin goes to higher prices, that red dot could disappear on us. But we're playing with fire right now, with Bitcoin going to lower prices. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at World Liberty Finance as the next request here. Let's see. Let me type in USD, see what that comes next. World Liberty Finance. I'm trying to find out on TradingView here, and I'm not sure which one I should click here. USDT maybe. Let's see what that gives me. All right, I'm gonna just try to see if I can click on this one here on PancakeSwap. Yeah, see, I don't really got much data here. What the hell? Can you give me the ticker symbol? You can tell me what exchange I could find World Liberty on, because I'm having a hard time finding that on TradingView here. Maybe I could try this one here. Hey, what is this? What is this? This is looking like a stable coin in my opinion. Just staying at $1. I don't know. This is not good. Check World Liberty Finance on LBank. And Kami asks, do I think Bitcoin can go down to 112K? Yes, I do think it can go down to 112K. I might actually do that later on today or tomorrow. And then Chris wants us to look at Ondo. Okay, let me go ahead and write that down so I don't miss it. But I'm over here trying to find World Liberty Finance, and I'm having a hard time finding it. You said it's on LBank. World Liberty Finance. LBank. Let me try World Liberty Finance. Crypto. Yeah, I don't know. Are you able to find it on TradingView yourself? Oh, well, if it's pre-market and it hasn't gone public, then I'm probably not going to be able to find it on any of the exchanges here. So I can't really look it up. Yeah, so if I can't find it on TradingView, I can't do it. I can't do an analysis, and I'm not going to be able to use my indicators unless I can find it on TradingView. But yeah, we'll pay attention once it actually hits an exchange here and starts trading for a little bit on the exchanges. Then I'll be able to look at it in a future date. Let's move on to Ondo. We're now looking at Ondo, currently trading at 92 cents, down 4% today, as most other cryptocurrencies are. About 4 or 5%, having a down day here. I have done previous Fibonacci work here on Ondo. Okay, pulling my fibs from $1.17 down to 61 cents here. Looks like we are losing. Oh my god, we're losing the 200-day moving average here on Ondo, so that's not good to see. 200-day moving average was supposed to give us support at 94 cents here. Okay, that red number there. You're losing that. You're slicing through it, and you might not get support until you come down to the 100-day, sitting at like 89 cents here. Okay, 89 cents is also confluent with this 0.5 retracement, so I think you might have some support. You might be able to get some cheaper Ondo at 89 or 90 cents here, but I would get ready to click the buy button here. And then you could just strategically put a stop loss right below this candle wick low here at 84 cents. If we lose 84 cents, then this could mean that we're still in a downtrend on Ondo, and you might not want to stick around and find out how much lower we're going to go. We do have a 0.236 retracement saying that we could go down to 74 cents here on Ondo, and that's like at the same level that prices were trading at back here in July of 2025 here. So maybe Ondo gets some support at that area if we lose these moving averages right here. But I would get ready to start buying some Ondo, especially on a nice red day. It's always good to buy on a red day. A red candle, nice solid red candle. And I like to sell on the green candle, especially when you have a bunch of them lined up with each other here. Like back July 22nd would have been a good day to sell some Ondo here. And if I turn on the Market Cipher B, I bet you would have said the same thing. Like if you look at Market Cipher B on Ondo, right? July 23rd was a good day to sell. And had you done that, you probably would have sold your Ondo at like $1.14 or somewhere above $1. Market Cipher B, it kind of helps. It's like a nice little cheat sheet, right? On August 7th was a good day to buy Ondo. But then right here, you had a red sell.com on August 15th, last Friday, saying that you should have sold Ondo on Friday. Had you done that, you would have been able to sell Ondo at like $1. And you would have avoided the 8 to 10% drop that we got this week here on crypto. So, you could use Market Cipher B if you want to help you out, or you can decide not to at your own peril. But I like using Market Cipher B to help me figure out, like, hey, should I probably be selling? Because if I feel like I should be selling, and then Market Cipher B says I should sell as well, then I probably should sell to avoid whatever mess is coming up next. Alright, but the good bit of news I can give you is that after a red dot usually comes a green dot. Okay? But we just don't know when that green dot's going to come in yet. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be next week. Alright, do you really want to sit around and wait for Ondo to go to lower prices? Unless you're trying to buy some more Ondo. But yeah, if you're already in it and you haven't sold anything, I mean, it told you that Friday was a good day, and I guess the next day after that would have been the next best day. And then, of course, the day after that would have been the next best day to sell. As we get this little downdraft in the market. Let's see. Market is red, great to buy, or dollar cost average. Time the DCA is what Chris is saying. And then Chris wants to look at Dogecoin, and Kami wants to look at Plume. So we'll look at Plume, and then we'll look at Dogecoin because that came in first. And then, we also have XRP. We gotta take a look at XRP. Yep, I got XRP. Gonna be the next one, then Plume. Thank you guys for keeping me busy. And if you're enjoying my analysis, don't forget to hit the like button. If you guys are watching me on TikTok, you can double tap the screen to hit that like button. And then, yeah, we got Dogecoin as well. All right. Let's take a look at XRP. And I feel like that was a good time to talk about XRP because if I talk about XRP in the beginning of the live stream, then I get someone in the middle or the end of the live stream like, "Hey, can we look at XRP?" And I was like, "Oh, we just looked at it like 30 minutes ago." But here we are looking at XRP for the first time in this stream here. XRP currently trading at $2.91, down 4.7% today. And yeah, you know, for those, now that you guys are getting used to Market Cypher B, for those who are interested, yeah, Market Cypher B said last Thursday was a good day to sell your XRP. Okay, and you're just waiting for a green buy dot to tell you when's a good day to buy XRP. Okay, you want to use that little cheat sheet there. But yeah, we are clearly losing the $3 golden pocket level here. Your 61865 retracement at $3 and $3.04. We are losing that right now, and we are probably gonna head towards the 278. I'm sorry, the 0.5 retracement at $2.78 here, which is a level that we kind of came down to here on the beginning of August 2nd. We actually came a little bit lower than that, to like 273 and 272 the next day after that. That's going to be your level to look for, 278. If you're able to buy some relatively cheap XRP at that level, you might be able to buy there. That could end up being a higher low before we go to higher prices on XRP. You got your moving averages below you at the 50-day at $2.60. That's confluent with this 0.382. That might be even stronger level of support if XRP actually comes down to that level. I know there might be some people who are itching to buy XRP at $2.50 because, you know, everybody loves even numbers, but you might get front run by the people that are using moving averages and the Fibonacci guys here. They might start deciding to buy XRP at 257 because that's where the Fibonacci's at, and that's also kind of like where the 50-day moving average is at. So the psychological traders might get front run by the Fibonacci and the moving average traders over here. But that's going to be a good support area between 250 and 260 on XRP. But that level is also below this 278 level, which could also act as support. Between 272 and 278 is an area where XRP was able to catch some bids here in the beginning of August. So that might be coming into play again here. And then going forward, of course, you know, we would like to see XRP go to higher prices. If you want to use this Fibonacci to kind of figure out where it could go next, we do have a 1272 that says $4 XRP should be a possibility, maybe later on in 2025. And then you got the 1618 saying 474, and then of course the 2618 saying 650. It's kind of a stretch now, you know, with XRP going down to lower prices, but maybe this is going to just coil up the spring for us to launch up to 650 at some point. But 650 is still a target according to the Fibonacci extension here at 2618. Alright, so that's XRP. Downside, upside targets. Now we'll take a look at Plume, and then we'll look at Dogecoin. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So I have done chart work here. Maybe have you asked about this crypto in the past? Because it looks like I've done some previous chart work on this already. Trying to see what this thing started trading on Binance Exchange back in March of 2025. So it's a relatively new cryptocurrency. It's not even a year old yet. Looks like I was looking at what could possibly have been a bull flag back here in June as it launched up to higher prices, but then you lost that bull flag relatively, and you also retested this uptrend only to get rejected, retested and get rejected again. Interestingly enough, looks like here on August 5th you came down to like 8.5 cents, and you're kind of trading at that right now. Could this be a double bottom being formed at 8.5 cents before this thing launches up to higher prices tomorrow or later on this week? I don't know, but 8.5 cents is interesting because I don't really have that as a Fibonacci except for like the 0.236 at 9 cents. should have been a support area, and it was kind of like back here. You have candle body opening and a candle body close at like 9 cents back here on August 11th and August 12th. But I guess they took it down further here back in the first week of August, and now they're taking it down to 8.5 cents again. I don't know, 8.5 cents looks like. I mean, you could just game plan this out. If you want to make a tight stop loss, just put your stop loss at 8 cents. And you might be catching the bottom here on Plume at 8.5 cents right now. But yeah, looking at the previous chart work here, I'm going to get rid of this trend for now. That was interesting to see that we got rejected off of it. And I'll get rid of this for now, just clean things up a little bit. And get rid of that measure move. And yeah, it looks like we had a candlewick high. Wow, interestingly, on Monday, we came up to like 12 cents, which is where that 786 retracement was at. Got rejected. It's also kind of like where this 50-day moving average was kind of at 11.5 cents. So someone decided to click the sell button on that wick there. And yeah, you got that little oof. It's like almost like a shooting star candle, and you're getting the follow through today. But I don't know. It's a tight squeeze because I think you could game plan this out. If you bought today, even like bought a little bit more tomorrow at like 8 pennies and put your stop loss at 8 pennies, you could be strategically game planning to see a lot of upside for like a very low risk here. It's worth taking a shot, in my opinion. Let's see what the oscillators are saying. MACD. Obviously, we had selling pressure here in August, or first week of August. Then we got some buying pressure. You're starting to get a little bit of selling pressure here again after a couple of bad days here. One of my favorite indicators, Market Cipher B with the cheat sheet, is showing that you had a red dot that came out today, but you had a green dot on Monday. So that was very interesting. Okay, so you see these red dots, green dots, they can be like back to back. Like one day you could have a red dot, the next day you could have a green dot, and then the day after that you have a red dot again. Okay, that's possibility here, especially if the price is all over the place. Okay, but the last time you had a significant green dot was Thursday, August 7th, which was a good week for a lot of cryptocurrencies. That first week of August, the money started coming back in again. But you do have a red dot, so the red dot is showing that you can be bearish and you won't be wrong. But yeah, I just think you could strategically plan to buy at 8 cents, or between 8 and 8.5 cents could be a good buy zone. And then let me see, what is the RSI showing? Still making higher lows here on the RSI, but you're threatening to lose it. You're also making lower highs on the RSI, so you're kind of getting a little bit of a symmetrical triangle on the RSI here, right? Because you got like this going like that. You got your higher lows uptrend, but then you got your lower highs downtrend on the RSI. So this might ping pong back and forth, and we might actually just start to stabilize on the price here. And that makes sense. Between like 8 and 9 cents, I think this thing could like stabilize itself before it makes a decision as to whether we're going to go up or down later on in the month of September. FUSD is the future, according to Jay. Alright. And Chris Cook says, you appreciate me and my help. Oh, you're welcome. And then Chiama just threw in a bunch of requests here for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. We looked at Bitcoin early in the stream. We'll probably look at it again on the way out towards the end of the stream. But I'll take a look at Ethereum and Solana for you. I also own Solana myself, so I'm a little bit curious to see how Solana's doing. So I'll definitely look at that for you. Appreciate those requests. Alright. So we just got finished looking at Plume. Now we gotta take a look at Dogecoin. But just finishing off here on Plume, 8 to 9 cents. You're in a good area to buy if you want to take a low risk, high reward situation. I think your reward is you can take this thing up to 11 cents again. which is where the 50-day moving average is sitting at, that green line. It's also where the 618 is also sitting at. So I think 11.5 cents should be your take profit target to the upside if you're able to get back up to those levels again. And then of course anything else is just gravy after that. Alright, moving on to Dogecoin. Let me get a swig of water. Right, Dogecoin currently trading at 21 cents, down 4% today. And we got the rejection off of the 618 retracement level here. That golden pocket is now getting rejected. It looks like we're slicing right through the 0.5 retracement. I don't see any confluence with any of the moving averages there, so that probably is not going to hold, and it hasn't been holding. So we might see Dogecoin come a little bit further down. We might actually get support at the 50-day and 200-day, which is sitting at about 20 cents, 20.5 cents here. And that's confluent with the 0.382 retracement at roughly 20 cents here. So I think 20 cents is where Dogecoin, it might creep down towards that level, and then finally people say, hey, 20 cents, that sounds like a good number for me to buy Dogecoin. Let me just type that into my exchange, my cryptocurrency exchange here, and say I want to buy Dogecoin at 20 cents. And that's also going to be where we get some support with the moving averages here. Okay, so I think 20 cents is your next downside target on Dogecoin, just to make a long story short. If we lose that level, then you do have the 100-day at 19 cents, but then you also got the 0.236 retracement at 17, almost 18 cents. So it's like, all right, if not 20, then 19. If not 19, then what, maybe 18? You start getting, you know, a little tight there. As like, alright, what level do you really want to buy Dogecoin at? But I think Dogecoin does have support. You have some support at like 20 cents, 19 cents, and also 18 cents. Okay? And if Dogecoin can finally catch the bid, hopefully we either make a double bottom and retest this as confirmation that these are the lows, or maybe we make a higher low compared to what we did here on the first week of August. Higher low at 20 cents and go up to higher prices. And if we go to higher prices, then we are looking at maybe Dogecoin going up to 25, 26 cents like it did here on Thursday, last Thursday, where we had the rejection off of the 786 retracement. That should be your first take profit target, and then second take profit target is going to be 28 cents here, all over again, like we did back here in July 21st, where whoever bought here, they'll probably be itching to sell Dogecoin and just break even at 28, 29 cents. So that's your second take profit target. All right, first take profit target 25, 26 cents. Second take profit target 28, 29 cents, as far as I'm concerned about with Dogecoin here. Anything else is going to be gravy, but you know, let's first try to see if we can actually get ourselves an altcoin season going on here before we can even talk about like 30 cent or 40 cent Dogecoin. All right, moving on from Dogecoin, we'll take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum currently trading at $4,142, down 4% today, and Ethereum is now getting into this buy zone that I charted out here as an area that I thought would be good for us to start buying some Ethereum. And that's mainly because you got the 21 EMA, this exponential moving average. 21 EMA is sitting at 4,059, so if Ethereum is going to respect the 21 EMA like it has done in the past, then we should get a bounce off this level. It could always go a little bit further below that, like it has done on the first day of August here. We lost the 21 EMA, only came back up again, lost it again, came back up, and then we finally launched up to higher prices. You might get the same thing here where Ethereum goes below that 21 EMA, maybe goes to like $3,900, comes back up again, goes below it again, comes back up, and then we launch up to higher prices on Ethereum. Alright, but as I start to zoom out here, we do have some levels to look out here with Ethereum. Okay, the $4,100 level is a level that I already marked out as an area that we should be considering buying Ethereum if we are going to continue being bullish. And that's because Ethereum, you know, it did come up to $4,100 back here in December, okay? So this is an area that could get retested as confirmation to see if we got support at that level. And that also fits right into my little buy zone here for Ethereum, okay? So that is why I got that little buy zone saying, yeah, if Ethereum at $41 down to like 38, 39 is a good area to be buying some Ethereum. Okay. Could go lower. I mean, we could come down to that 0.786 retracement at $3,500 Ethereum. And that was an area that Ethereum was trading at back here towards the last week of July, going into the first week of August. That's also another good support area that I believe you could get some support for Ethereum. And if I turn on the VRVP, that should also help us here too. Let me just try to scroll the chart over here. But with the VRVP, right, you do have some high volume nodes here at $4,100, which is where we're currently at. Then you got a gap in the VRVP, and then you got some more support at like $3,800, $3,900 Ethereum, going all the way down to like $3,500, $3,600. So there is some volume here. Some people that bought Ethereum in previous days and previous weeks, they'll just be back to break even again, and they're not going to click sell unless Ethereum loses $3,500. Then they'll probably click the sell button, and then yeah, you'll see Ethereum go down to low prices if that's the case. If it's not able to hold $3,500 bucks. All right, so I gave you the downside targets on Ethereum. Upside targets on Ethereum, you know, we're still trying to see if Ethereum's going to make it up to that 1618 at $5,800. I guess I should probably, before I get ahead of myself, can Ethereum even get up to the $4,800 level? That $4,800, I believe it was like $4,867 was the high watermark for Ethereum back in 2021 for Coinbase Exchange here. Yeah, where we saw Ethereum actually get up to that price in November of 2021. Can Ethereum actually do that and prove to the doubters that Ethereum can actually make new all-time highs this cycle? Because that's what we've been waiting on. It's almost like, you know, we're looking at the watch, looking at the clock, like, hey, Ethereum, right? Bitcoin's done it. Why can't you do it, you know? So we're waiting on Ethereum to get up to $4,867. Once we get past that, then we're looking to see if Ethereum can get up to like 5,800, which is your 1618 fib extension target to the upside. And then there's even more gravy for you too. You know, maybe if we do get an actual altcoin season and money starts flowing into the markets and they lower interest rates and liquidity comes back into the ecosystem, then we could probably see $8,500 Ethereum. That's your 2618 fib extension level. S is asking, what's that indicator on the side with the volume? That's actually, I'll show you right here on TradingView. Let's see, that's the visual range volume profile indicator, the VRVP indicator. I actually have a TikTok video that I made. You can look it up on TikTok. Let's see if we'll go on my TikTok page here real quick. If it decides to load up, okay. And you can, don't forget to hit the follow button and subscribe to the Meet Damien channel here. Like we've seen a few other people here just do that a few minutes ago. And then let's scroll down here. The VRVP video is like down here. I made it like a couple of months ago. And it's this video right here with 1,400 views. So if you click on this video, you'll learn more about the VRVP indicator. It's like a 16-minute video, and I teach you how to use it, how to set it up, and then how to trade with it.
The volume.
So go ahead and check out that video to learn more about the VRVP indicator. Alright, back to the charts here. So we looked at Ethereum, we did upside, downside targets. Now we gotta take a look at Solana. And I got a request here, I think, for Algorand. I think we looked at Algorand yesterday, but we'll look at it again, see how it's doing. Algo. And yes, let's look at Solana now. Solana currently trading at $176, $177, down 3.2% today. And let me get rid of the VRVP for now. I do have a Fibonacci that I drew for Solana from the top here at 295 in January down to, I pulled it all the way down to $95 here, where we saw that for Solana in April of 2025. And it gives me these Fibonacci numbers to look out for, and the level that looks like we're going to try to retest, especially if Bitcoin decides to go to lower prices here. The 0.382 retracement at $171 could come back into play again here. Right now, it looks like Solana is trying to catch some support on the 21 exponential moving average, this white line here, at 177 bucks. So that's why I like using the 21 EMA, because it usually follows the price, and price sometimes, if it's bullish, it will just bounce off the 21 EMA and then go up to higher prices. But if we lose the 21 EMA, we do have support below us. We got the $171 level. Then we also got the 50-day at 165 bucks. So I think 165 to like 172. Good buy zone area for Solana, unless you want to take, you know, a chance on Solana right now. You could buy Solana right now at $176. You're getting close to that 0.382. If you're day trading it, maybe you buy now and you put your stop loss at 170 bucks. Because if we do careen down towards that $172 level, then we could even go further down to that 50-day moving average at 165 bucks. I'm not sure how much of a loss you want to take if that's the case. I guess you could just short it if you want to, and maybe even take it down to that $170 level. But yeah, Solana still in an uptrend from what we've seen here in June. I measured the uptrend like this. You could come down to like $168 on Solana and still maintain this uptrend that you've been in since June. I also like the fact that Solana did squeeze out a higher high compared to what it did here in July. But I want to see Solana cash those bids and actually make it up to that golden pocket level at $219, $225 Solana. That's your golden pocket level that could provide resistance in the near future. Because that's also a level, that $220 level is a level that people bought Solana back in November, December of last year, in January of this year. If those people are done with Solana and done with crypto, they might say, hey, I'm going to sell my Solana and just break even at $219, $220. And then they'll take their money and go somewhere else with it. Okay, but that's a level to be looking out for Solana. And then also we have the 786 retracement at 253. You actually did have some people buying Solana at that level there. Okay, so that's also a level that we need to be on the lookout for to take profit on our Solana. Okay, and then of course all-time high 295. Yeah, if we get up to that level, that's also a good area to sell some Solana as well. So those are your upside, downside targets on Solana. We'll go ahead and move on to Algorand. Algo. How's my YouTube guys doing over there? You guys are kind of quiet. Let me know if you're alive in the live chat there by clicking the 1 for my YouTube guys. My TikTok guys, they're a chatty bunch over here though. Kami thinks Solana did a double top. Maybe. You can say the same thing about Bitcoin. You know, we did a top at 123K and then a top at 124K. Some of these cryptocurrencies, they look like the same thing on the charts here. M. Arshman, is that a request for CAD? I don't even know what that is. Alright. But we're now looking at Algorand. Currently trading at 24 cents, down 5.92% today. And you're in a downtrend, as I can already spot on the lower highs here for Algorand. And if this low that we made here on August 3rd does not get respected at 23 cents, which also happens to be like where that 200-day moving average is, I mean, you could come down lower to like that 100-day moving average at 21.5 cents. Or you might just come revisit the levels here at 18.5 cents, which is where Algorand was trading at back on the third week of June, going into the last week of June, first week of July here. So hopefully that's not the case here. Hopefully this is like the worst day of the week here for crypto, and then we can just go up to higher prices here. But yeah, we are getting a bad day in the markets for crypto. Let's see, how is the stock market doing right now? Because I know Nasdaq wasn't doing so great either. The Nasdaq down 1.4% today, and then S&P 500 down 0.6%. Dow Jones for some reason not, is just flatline right now. So that's interesting. So yeah, Nasdaq is also taking on a chin. So it's not just cryptocurrency, guys. It's also stock market is taking a hit today. And I really can't put my finger on what the bad news is, because I know today, you know, United States and Russia and Europe are trying to like work out a peace deal. They're in the process of it. Seems like things are doing all right with that. And then what? Nothing interesting with tariffs. Maybe there's a little bit of jitters from like what the FOMC meeting minutes are going to be like for tomorrow. Maybe that's why the market's a little bit skitty and skittish right now. And then we got Jackson Hole on Friday, going into the weekend. But they're not doing an interest rate decision. That's not until like September 17th. So I'm not really sure why they just decided to make today a bad day. I know we had a bad PPI report on Thursday, so maybe people are just unwinding their trades. But in my opinion, and I already talked about this on the Discord, and by the way guys, if you want to come join my Discord, you can join the Meet Damien Discord channel, where we can talk about crypto and stocks, and we can also you'll also be able to see when I go live here. Okay. But yeah, come join the Meet Damien Discord, where we can talk about stocks and crypto and figure out what's going on in the markets. And I can send an invite link to my TikTok, guys. If you message me on TikTok after you follow me, I can send a message to you guys with the link to the Discord, so we can stay in touch here. And my YouTube, guys, you can just go on the description to the video, and you'll see you will see the link to the video in the description for the Discord channel. Alright, but yeah, Algorand. Alright, you got your moving averages that can provide support at 22 cents, maybe 21.5 cents. And then I just want to see us, can we start making higher highs, possibly? Like, can we get above the high here on Thursday when we saw us get up to like 29 cents? That would be nice to see, right? And then also, can we get above the high that we did here on July 18th when we got up to like 33 cents? I think if you should start showing that you're making higher highs, as well as continue making higher lows, you'll be alright with Algorand, but we'll see. Right? Just get above 30 cents, please, and then also get above 33 cents here. And we can start being more bullish here on Algorand. Let's see. So, was that a request for CAD? I don't know. Oshman, you gotta tell me, was that a request there? Oh, that's the other thing, Erhan. Good thing that you said profit taking. Yeah, there is profit taking going on. I feel as though, and this happens every year, they call it seasonality, but I call it every single year around the end of August, going into the first, second week of September, we got rich people selling their stocks and their crypto to go pay for their college kids' tuitions. Because they don't take out loans, they just sell stock. And I guess now some of them are selling crypto as well to pay for their college kids' tuition. So I think that's really what's going on, to be honest. This is the week to start paying your tuition bills. And that's what they're doing right now. Okay. So I think that's what we're seeing right now in the markets. That's got to be the news. That's the news that they don't really talk about. I think that's what's going on, and I talked about that in the Discord channel. So if you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about those kind of things here on the Discord. Figure out why the market's going down with no news, right? Like, why the hell is it going down with no news? I guess we would be alright if it went up on no news, right? We would just think it's a normal bull market. But when it goes down and there's really no news event, it's like, really? What was that all about? And I think it's just college kids paying for their tuitions right now. The ones that actually own stock in crypto. Alright, so we talked about Algorand. I guess we can take a look at the Bitcoin, and maybe that's going to be the end of the stream. I don't know. Unless I have another request here. Actually, I gotta find out, CAD, right? Was that a request, CAD? Is that the Canadian dollar? Or are we looking at CADASIS? That's interesting. There actually is a crypto named CAD. Okay. I think I'll take a look at that on Mexi Exchange here. Let's see. This thing is relatively new. Looks like it started trading on Mexi back in April of 2025 here. We're now looking at CAD trading at 72 cents. Why does this look like the Canadian dollar? Is this what we're looking at, the Canadian dollar? Okay, why is there a Canadian symbol here? Is this a meme coin? Or a currency? Like, what are we looking at here? What the hell is this thing? Okay, anyways, I'll try to do a quick analysis on this. This thing looks like it's coming up on some support here, like it did back in May and April 2025. So I could already see that as a line for us to pay attention to right over here. Okay, 72 cents. Okay. If you lose 72 cents, then there might be something wrong with this asset, and you probably want to get out of it. You could probably short this thing down from, if it does lose 72 cents, take it all the way down to like 71 cents. But like, oh, what the hell? Like, there's not really much. So this thing only went as low as 71 cents or 70 cents here. And how high did it get? Like up to like 74 cents? Dude, is this like the Canadian dollar, but like a Canadian dollar cryptocurrency? Because this thing doesn't really move up or down. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. I'm probably going to skip over this. Let's go ahead and look at Bitcoin, as we should, right? So just a summary analysis on Bitcoin, upside, downside targets. Looks like if Bitcoin continues being bearish and just having a bad day here, we could get another bad day that sends us down to 112k Bitcoin, which is a level that we visited here back on August 2nd and August 3rd before we got a bounce off that level. So maybe we get the same thing and we get a bounce off that level if we're going to continue being bullish. That 112k level is also the previous all-time high that we had back here on May 22nd for Bitcoin. So maybe that would give us support here. Then you start going down towards, if you lose 112k, you got that 50-day moving average at 110.9k, but this thing is moving up. Looks like it moves up about every day it moves about $150. So like tomorrow, this thing could be at 111k, the 50-day moving average, and then we might even see the day after that it might actually start creeping up towards 112k. So I think 112k is probably going to be the sweet spot because of previous price action, support zone area, and also 50-day moving average could provide support. People might actually put their bid orders in for 112k Bitcoin. All right, but if we lose that 112k area, we do have the 0.5 retracement at 111.4k, so like there's still a little bit of support just underneath that. But more realistically, you might see us come down to that 0.382 level at $108,300 Bitcoin. And that level's confluent to like where people were buying Bitcoin back here in the first week of July. You got some people that were buying here middle of June at that level. So maybe those people can hold us and prevent us from going to higher prices. I see Trade Intuition has just made it into the live stream here. And also Road Dog Crypto is in here with a Trade Intuition raid incoming. So I just have a couple of YouTuber guys that just came into my YouTube live stream. And I'll give out some shout outs to them. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah. So one of them is Porky Flounder 65. He's a good YouTuber to take a look at. Funny guy. If you guys don't like music, he doesn't play music on his stream, so you can just get the TA without the music. Let's show Road Dog here, who just came into the chat. Road Dog is another crypto YouTuber. He has great music. About as great, maybe even better than the music that I got. And he also makes his own music, so that's pretty cool too. And he does great TA as well, and he goes live. He goes live sometimes in the afternoons. I've seen him go live in the afternoons. But I also see him going live almost every night. You catch him on the late night streams here. So yeah, definitely gotta check out Road Dog Crypto. He's pretty good with the Fibonacci and the 5-day movement strategy that I use, so we got some similar TA skills here. And then another YouTuber that came onto the chat we gotta give a shout out to is Trade Intuition. Has a couple of thousand subscribers here on YouTube. I know he's trying to build up his following on TikTok, so you guys should check him out on TikTok if you can. Give him a follow and a subscribe. And yeah, he's good with the TA as well. Talks about crypto and puts out the short videos, trying to teach you guys how to become better traders. And another educator in the cryptocurrency space. You should go check him out as well. All right, back to Bitcoin. Guys, we were kind of getting towards, I was thinking about ending the live stream here, unless you guys got some more requests. I've been live for about an hour and a half, and we're kind of finishing up here talking about Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin coming down to 112K, as probably some others have seen down on the charts as well. If we lose 112K, then yeah, maybe 108K might be a sticking point, which is your 0.32 retracement, and then we got the 0.236 saying 104K is even better support area for Bitcoin, because that was also previous all-time highs at one point. Also, if I turn the VRVP, let's see what the VRVP has to say. Now I got data going all the way back to like May and April this year, and the VRVP is showing, you know, with the buys and sells here on the right, a lot of support here at $107,000 Bitcoin, $108,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so I think that 0.382 retracement is a good area if we lose 112K, and then even more support or just as much support at 104K as well. Okay, so 104K, 108K, we got some levels to work with here if Bitcoin does go to lower prices. Also, I'm seeing that the 100-day moving average, that blue line, looks like it's creeping up towards 104K. So we do have some support, guys. It's not going to be craziness if we lose 112K. I mean, it will feel like craziness when it does happen. But we do have some support at 108 and 104K as of now. Moving average support-wise, and also VRVP volume-wise, we have support at those levels. And yeah, I gave you the downside targets. Now, upside targets would be great to see Bitcoin get it past the point of control here at 118K. Then the volume starts to drop off on the VRVP, and you get a little bit of, looks like a little bit of resistance at $122,000 Bitcoin for some reason. Let's see, did we get a candle wick at that level? Yeah, we got like a candle wick there on August 11th, and then I think we also got something there, kind of something there on July 14th. But hey, since I got Trade Intuition and I got oh, I even got Crypto Coin Mindset in here too, and Road Dog. Guys, here's what I was looking at on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin that got me a little bit concerned here for Bitcoin, okay? On the weekly time frame using Market Cipher B, look at this bad news beer that came out. We got a red sell dot on the weekly time frame this week, August 18th, saying that we should be selling our Bitcoin. The last time we had that red dot was December 23rd of 2024, right around Christmas time. And granted, I know like the next month we had a new all-time high and Donald Trump got inaugurated and Bitcoin went to 109K. That could have been a fluke though, because we all know what happened on the month of February and March, right? It was bad. It was bad for Bitcoin, right? Bad for crypto. And we didn't get a green buy dot until April of 2025 here, which, you know, we all know that's what sent us up to new all-time highs again. But think about this for a second, guys. We're only $4,000. We're only $4,000 above the price that Bitcoin was trading at when Donald Trump got inaugurated. When Donald Trump first got into office in January, 7 months ago. How are we supposed to call this like the bullish year for Bitcoin? Like one of the biggest bullish year for Bitcoin. The 4-year cycle. It ends in 2025. And Bitcoin's only $4,000 higher than it was when it first started the year. How does that compute? I don't know. I think this year is kind of lame, but maybe this is the low, and then we go up to higher prices later on this week and next month. But even Market Cipher B is saying, guys, this is pretty lame. We got a red dot here on the weekly time frame. Now, granted, we still got 5 more days left in this week. A lot can change between now and the end of this week. We could be back at all-time highs again, and this red dot could disappear on us. But I think I seen this red dot like yesterday, and now I'm seeing it today, and I'm like, wow. Market Cipher B is saying that we should be selling on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. And then going back, I mean, this is kind of like I talked about earlier in the live stream here, but you know, you guys are coming in just now. We still have bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. We're making lower highs on the RSI, right? Going all the way back to like March of 2024. You know, granted, Bitcoin has been going up on higher prices, as we all know. I don't need to draw that out, do I? That we're making higher highs on the price for Bitcoin. But the lower highs and the higher highs is equating to bearish divergence. You know, back here in July 7th, we had RSI of 70. Why can't we get back to being overbought again on Bitcoin? If we can get back to being overbought on Bitcoin, then that invalidates this weekly bearish divergence. So, I don't know. I want to talk to Porky on that. I want to talk to you guys on your live streams. See what you guys have to say about that weekly bearish divergence that we're getting on Bitcoin. And then, yeah, you know, maybe we can talk about that Market Cipher B on your live streams as well. But yeah, I did not like to see that, and that is what we're getting right now. Okay, it's looking bearish. Looking like we're getting the warning signs and the sell signals here. Also, I think I showed the the money flow indicator. Let me just try to pull up that indicator here real quick. Money flow intensity by Joe Cool. Let's zoom in on this chart here. As you can see, you know, we've had money coming in, and it's been coming in for the months of, you know, August and July here. Obviously 2022 was bad, but this is the weekly time frame. Let me go zoom into the daily time frame and you'll see what I've seen so far. Money is actually leaving Bitcoin right now. We're getting some red here on the money flow indicator on the daily time frame. We had a little bit of red here on August 2nd as well, and that was also a bad weekend for Bitcoin and crypto. before we caught some bids here. But we're not getting the same kind of money that we did back in July or even May. Like, May was better than July. Okay. And then, of course, there's the red that we got back here in February and March of this year. And then, you know, we had some money coming in January because of the excitement behind Donald Trump going into office. But we haven't really had, like, money come in with all the enthusiasm and excitement that we've seen like we did here in November and December of 2024. We're not getting that. Like, where is this altcoin season that we're waiting for? Was it last year? Was that the altcoin season? You know, we even had some solid green here back in March of 2024. So I'm not liking the way the money flow is going on Bitcoin. You know, just being flatline, and now we're seeing red again. And we're supposed to be entering what the best quarter is, the fourth quarter, the year after the halving. Fourth quarter is supposed to be the best year. Like, I don't know. They're really playing games with our mentality here, showing a little bit of red. I mean, this could be the red before we get some green. Maybe we get an interest rate cut, and this saves the day, saves the month. September could be a better month for us than what we're getting here in August. But yeah, my undertone is a little bit bearish today, and it's been bearish this week. And that's because the charts are showing us some warning signs here. Let me get back into Market Cipher B. We did have a red sell dot on Friday, August 15th on Market Cipher B. And you would have been selling your Bitcoin at $120,000 had you listened to Market Cipher B. Okay? You're like near all-time highs was last Friday. So I kind of knew we were going to have a bad weekend and maybe a bad few days here because of that red sell dot. I'm just waiting for that green dot to come in to save the day and give us a few good days here. But I'm going to, since I got you guys all here, I'm going to look at one last indicator here. Okay. Let me get rid of the VRVP. Actually, no, I'm just going to make this a naked chart now. Let me go ahead and just make that naked right now. Okay. And we're going to look at one more indicator. Call me crazy or not, but I got to get into the moon cycles here again. Okay. And for those who don't know, the moon cycle chart is a chart that seems to be kind of right most of the time. Like, I would say like probably like 90% of the time. I haven't measured it out yet, but it seems as though every time we get a full moon, the price of Bitcoin stops going down. If it was going down, it stops, okay? And most likely it ends up going upward or sideways, okay? Last full moon was Saturday, August 9th. I'm sorry, Friday, August 8th. Around that time, we got that full moon. And then when we get a new moon, the price of Bitcoin normally doesn't go up. It usually goes sideways or it goes down during a new moon. And we got a new moon coming up this Saturday, August 23rd. So I'm expecting, you know, if we do get a recovery here going into the weekend, we might see Bitcoin just stop where it's at in its tracks. And then we might not see Bitcoin actually go up to higher prices until we get a full moon again. Okay, and that's going to be sometime in September. Okay, but you can see, like, just looking at the full moon indicator, right? Moon cycle indicator. Like, Bitcoin was going down here in April 7th, April 8th, and then we got the full moon and price went up. Then the new moon, price went sideways. It didn't go up. But then we got the full moon again and the price went up again. And then the new moon in May, we went sideways, which is, I guess, better than going down, but we kind of did go down a little bit. And then once again, that full moon tried to catch us again. Give us a little bit of a bid in June here. Then we came back down again. Alright. And that right there was, it's not really showing it because the summer thing, alright, that summer solstice is kind of blocking the new moon. But there is a new moon over here that prevented us from going up. And then once again, that full moon in July sent us up. New moon suppressed the price and kept us going sideways. Full moon in August sent us back up. New all-time highs a few days later. Okay. And now we're about to get a new moon. Yeah. Oh wow, BC Port Corp is in the live stream. We got a few people here. Okay. Wow. Seems like right when I was about to end the live stream, more people show up. That's funny. And I got a TikTok live stream here, and then people are still asking me questions on TikTok. By Scopin says, what do you think about selling Solana for buying Chainlink? And then you said the same question all over again. Okay. Selling Solana to buy Chainlink, I think they're both solid cryptocurrencies. Solana's all-time high is at 295. We'll just measure this out here. Let's go into a weekly time frame here. And I'll measure from where the price is. We're at like what, 178 to the all-time high. I'm just trying to figure out, what is your performance? If you just get back to all-time highs again on Solana, how much of a percentage gain could that possibly be here? All right, so I go from here to here. 295. You got a 66% gain if you decide to stay in Solana and take this thing up to the all-time high at 295. Now, let's see, Chainlink. Wait, yeah, you said Chainlink. Chainlink at $23.97. We've seen Chainlink back in 2021 get as high as like $52.99, almost $53. All right, let's try to measure this out. And then also Chainlink got as high as like $30 in December of 2024. All right, so we'll just measure from where we are right now to $30, like we saw in 2024. That's a 27% gain for Chainlink. Now, if Chainlink can get back to where it was in 2021, you're looking at like 117% gain. So that's a little bit better than Solana. But that's if it can actually do what it did back in 2021. Chainlink might make you more money, but the key word with that is might. Solana has already been to new all-time highs earlier this year. It could probably do that again this year, and you get 66% gain. So I'm not gonna give financial advice, but if I was on the fence between the two, I would just, I was all in Solana, I would probably maybe sell half of my Solana and put it in the Chainlink, and then see if Chainlink outperforms Solana. If it doesn't, that means my other half is in Solana, and Solana is still gonna make you money. So maybe you can split the two by selling some Solana and getting some Chainlink. It sounds like you're already doing that right now. But yeah, Chainlink has a possibility of outperforming Solana if Chainlink can get back to where it was in 2021. And that's also assuming that Solana is not going to make new all-time highs either, because Solana can make new all-time highs. So I think both of them are solid cryptos to be in, to be honest. And what you're doing is probably the right thing. Selling a little bit to get into the other one and having a little bit of diversification. I can't blame you for that. Jarim says, hi Damien, why are the markets down for any specific reason? There is no specific reason, but if you had to ask me and I had to put my money on it, I think we're getting profit taken like we always do every year around this time. Some people call it seasonality. I call it rich people and rich kids selling their stocks and crypto to go pay for their college tuitions. It happens every year around this time. Like, I'm surprised no one has made that correlation besides me. Like, college. If you already have the money and it's in your stocks, you just sell your stocks. If you don't have the money, then you take out a student loan to go to college. So that's my answer for why crypto and stocks are down and there's no news event for us to attach it to. Jay Sharim says, when are we gonna get an altcoin season? Well, supposedly it started in July with the bill. the whatchamacallit, the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, is what started altcoin season. We'll look at Bitcoin dominance since we're on that subject now. Where's Bitcoin dominance? I had that in there. There we go. And if I pull up the moving averages, I gotta pull up the moving averages for this. And I gotta look at the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, we lost the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin dominance back in the middle of July, and that was the beginning of the altcoin season. Was this drop here, and then we got another drop here. We retested the 200-day moving average, back tested that, and failed it. So you're still in altcoin season, or we'll call it altcoin recovery, because a lot of these altcoins haven't even made new all-time highs. Like Ethereum still has not made a new all-time high this cycle, and clock is ticking before we get to the end of this year. And are we ever going to see a new all-time high on Ethereum? I don't know. But when Ethereum makes a new all-time high, then you know for damn sure that we're in altcoin season. That's how I would, if you had to like check off the boxes, like, all right, we lost the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin dominance. Okay, Ethereum made new all-time highs. Okay, mid caps are now making new all-time highs. Like the other altcoins like Solana and XRP are making new all-time highs. Then you can say, all right, we're for sure in an altcoin season, and then the money's gonna pour from the mid caps down to the small caps, and then you'll have everybody making money and making new all-time highs, supposedly, or making highs for the year, is what we'll say for now. Because I don't know if some of these altcoins are gonna make new all-time highs from what they did in, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. Some of them haven't made new all-time highs since 2017. I don't know if you can yet call that, you know, an altcoin season if they're not able to make new all-time highs. But we'll just say if they're able to make highs for the year, like the highest price of the year, then yeah, I think some of these altcoins you could say that they're in altcoin season. Kami says we had 3 weeks of alt seasons, and you say that Ethereum could hit 8K. Yeah, Ethereum could hit 8K. That's I think a 2618 or a 3618 on my fib extension. Yeah, 2618. We got a fib extension of $8,500 for Ethereum. Ethereum can actually get up to that price. But first, we gotta see if we can get past the all-time high at 4,800, and then get up to that 1618 at 5,800. Appreciate the questions here, guys. BC Port Corp says housing data coming out as well. Yeah, that's going to be on Thursday, and then we got Powell on Friday. Yep. And then you said if ETH hits 8K this season, you'll eat your slides. Okay. XRP kind of made a new all-time high on some exchanges, but there's some cryptocurrency exchanges that show that XRP actually had an all-time high of like $3.80 back in like 2017, 2018, around that time frame. So technically not a new all-time high, at least not on all the exchanges for XRP. All right, Kami says it's been a pleasure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up this live stream here, guys. I think we talked a lot about cryptocurrencies. Surprisingly, no requests for stocks, but that's okay. You can always talk about stocks whenever you guys want to talk about them. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this live stream. We'll try to go live again, maybe same time tomorrow. We'll see what my schedule's like. If you don't see me early in the afternoon, they could probably find me later on in the afternoon before you guys have dinner, around that time. All right. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this live stream, guys. I appreciate all the questions and requests, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.